Right. My name is C.V.Akuta. We're having an interaction today with Emeka Emekesri, the chairman of MOBIN, Movement of Biafrans in Nigeria. The topic for today's meeting is Biafra, British model in Nigeria, arising from previous meeting Emeka held with the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson when he was still the Foreign Secretary. We want Vice Emeka to give us details of this encounter with the UK Prime Minister. Emeka, you have the floor now.
Thank you very much, Mr. C.V.Akuta. It's a wonderful opportunity to discuss this matter with the Biafrans all over the world. As he has explained, as he has introduced, my name is Emeka Emekesri. I am the chairman of MOBIN, and MOBIN is the political movement of all the Biafrans that is powering the customary government of indigenous people of Biafra under the elders. We started this politics or international politics, that is the political arm of the struggle, because we felt that this struggle is not a local kind of thing. Biafra is international, and the people, the countries, the nations, all the nations in the international community that have interest in Nigeria will always want to be consulted, whether we like it or not. It is true that Britain created Nigeria. Britain created Nigeria, and before you can do anything to Nigeria, you must sit down to discuss it with them. It's better to be realistic. There's no need to be carried away by unreasonable emotions and sentiments. It's better to be realistic in whatever we do. Ndị Igbo si, onye nwata na amaghị nga ọha etobe. Ndị Igbo si na-ele mmadụ ha asị gị ịmakwa onwe gị, ịnakwa eche echiche. Do you think, have you considered everything? It is not in doubt that Britain created Nigeria for their purpose. Whether we say it's for economic purpose, yes, for economic purpose, for international politics, whatever purpose, we know that Britain created Nigeria. And therefore, before you can do anything to Nigeria, you must sit down and discuss it with Britain. Having realized this, we decided to make a move to have discussion with the British government. We started the first correspondence with the British government in 2014. They replied us, they wrote to us and said they have not got evidence of institutionalized persecution against the Biafrans, that's the Igbos. They still regard us as Biafrans because every letter they write to us, they still call us Biafrans. But they are saying that they did not, as at that time, 2014, that they had not seen any institutionalized evidence of persecution. Therefore, we went back to our drawing board and we started studying, compiling evidence of institutionalized persecution against us. So these meetings continued, the correspondence with the British government continued until 2018. When we went to have meetings with them, and we've had meetings with them 3 times in the parliament. And then they advised us to put in writing our proposal. Then Boris Johnson MP was the Secretary of State for the Foreign Secretary of State, the Commonwealth Office. So we now went again, met with them and presented our proposal, the Biafra Memorandum, That Biafra memorandum, here it is dated 13th February 2018. It is memorandum presented to the British Parliament by indigenous people of Biafra, who are the claimants in suit number FHC/OW/CS/192/2013 in the Federal High Court of Nigeria, Owerri Judicial Division. And the title is Permanent Solution to the Nigerian Biafra Conundrum, based on the British government policy of 1969. So this was what we handed over to them in that 2018 meeting, the last meeting we had with them in the parliament. Now, they took time before they responded to this. Of course, before this document was sent to the British government, the elders of Biafra land went through this document, looked into this document, advised on the structure of this document before it was sent to the British government. So the elders of Biafra land who are with us in the struggle for self-determination are all parties to this document that was sent to the British government. Of course, the British government also did their own due diligence. They also visited Biafra land and consulted with our elders. They interviewed our elders to know exactly what we want. We are going to go into this document gradually as this discussion continues. But after their discussions with our elders, after their due diligence, after their consideration of many things or factors, they now replied us on the 4th of May 2018. This is the letter. It was signed by the Right Honorable Boris Johnson MP. I'll give you the reference number and the date so that in case you want to find out, you can cross-check with the British government whether this document came from them or not. The date of this letter is 4th of May 2018. The reference number is MIN/118568/2018. Now, it was addressed to the MP we used who presented our case. Now, the MP that presented our case is Right Honorable Ian Duncan Smith. You present your case to the Parliament through the Member of Parliament. So, Right Honorable Ian Duncan Smith, who is the MP who presented our case. Now, the Right Honorable Boris Johnson MP responded. First is, let me read. Thank you for your letter dated 27 March. Then the second statement he made is, the UK fully supports the territorial integrity of Nigeria. I want you to take note of that. He clearly said that the UK, the British government, fully supports the territorial integrity of Nigeria. Now, in the second paragraph, he now said, we welcome that the UK welcomes the determination expressed in the memorandum from the indigenous people of Biafra. For you to understand this second statement, you need to know what is contained in this memorandum he is referring to. He said, the UK government welcomes the determination expressed in the memorandum from the indigenous people of Biafra. Then he went ahead to say, we continue to underline the importance of acting in accordance with the rule of law with all parties, including the Nigerian government. With all parties, he regarded us as one party. He wants this to be resolved by the rule of law, including all parties, including the Nigerian government. That he has accepted, that the UK government has accepted the proposal contained in the memorandum from indigenous people of Biafra, but that it has to be followed, it has to be implemented by the rule of law. Then the third paragraph is where he now emphasized on debating of the restructuring in a democratic way, that the debate on restructuring should be done in a democratic way, and that he encouraged all communities, all parties to engage in it constructively. That the restructuring should be debated. Where do you debate it for it to become a law, for it to be accepted? It has to be debated in the parliament. So when you go through this memorandum, which he referred to, what is contained in this memorandum? This memorandum is based on the British policy of 1969. In that British policy of 1969, they said that they want Nigeria to remain one, and that they will not allow Nigeria to disintegrate. So based on that, now we now provide a solution which they have accepted. And that solution is this. We said, okay, since you don't want Nigeria to disintegrate, you want Nigeria to remain one, we now propose the six nation model in one. Just like we have 4 countries in one in Great Britain, where we have England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, 4 in 1, that we are proposing the same thing for Nigeria, so that we can have 6 countries in one Nigeria: the Southeast, the South-South, the Southwest, North Central, Northwest, Northeast, whatever name they want to answer. They can, the West can answer Oduduwa Republic if they like. South-South can answer Niger Delta Republic if they like. Whatever. 6 countries in one. Just like we have Britain. Britain has 4 countries in one. Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland. But it is structured in such a way that they're still one country, but they have their indigenous identities. The Scottish, the Welsh, all of them have their separate identities, separate national identities, yet all are British citizens. So there is nothing wrong with that. So that's what we're talking about now, restructuring to the 6 countries in one. Now, this is the only option that they are willing to listen to implement. But look at their advice. It has to be debated. It's not something you just get arbitrarily. There has to be a debate in the parliament. And that means it has to be a bill passed into law, a bill moved as a motion in the parliament for the country to be restructured into 6 nations in one. And if this thing is done, Britain definitely will recognize the outcome of the debate in the National Assembly. That is why they emphasize in this letter it has to be democratically done. They want to follow due process. So the debate has to be democratic. Now, we understand that many people don't want this process. They want Biafra today, tomorrow, today, tomorrow. But everything has a process. It's unfortunate that many people do not want to hear the truth, or they are not patient enough to hear the truth. And I will never deceive you. I will tell you exactly how it is. I will not come now and say, hey, Britain has recognized Biafra. No, they are giving advice. They have accepted our proposal contained in this memorandum. They have welcomed it, they have accepted it. But there must be a procedure to restructure into 6 countries in one. And that has to go through debate in the National Assembly. So what are we waiting for? I know that some people are kicking against it, that they don't want that. They want outright independence from Nigeria. Okay. 3 groups have emerged. Some say they want outright independence from Nigeria immediately. All of us want outright independence. Well, that's what we want, outright independence. But can you get it immediately? Unless you go by war, fight by military, but can you use war, fight now to get Biafra immediately? We want to be realistic. It is not by propaganda that you will destroy Nigeria overnight. How do you do that? Now, Jesus Christ taught us something. When he spoke to us, he said, I think it's in Luke chapter 14, when he's talking about you want to build a house, you should first sit down to count the cost. He said, which of you, Luke chapter 14, from verse 28 to 32, he's talking about when you are building when you want to build a house, will you not first sit down to count the cost, whether you will be able to finish it? In that same passage, he also talked about a king going to war. If a king wants to go to war with another king, will he not sit down to check whether with his 10,000 soldiers, he will be able to confront the other king that's coming with him with 100,000 soldiers? Then he has to examine the possibility, the viability, whether it is possible to accomplish that mission. If not, he should now re-strategize. That is what we study in the university. We call it appraisal, feasibility and viability studies. Now, how many of you, those that are talking about Biafra, getting Biafra immediately, have they conducted feasibility studies, feasibility and viability studies, how it can be done immediately? They get Biafra immediately. But we have taken time. When I say we, that is those that are working with me, our team. In this Biafra struggle, there are different groups, different teams. And I like it, they should work as a team, but nobody should tackle the other. Let's complement one another. Good. So my own team, our team, has taken time to study all the factors, both local factors and international factors. And we have found out that you cannot get Biafra immediately because the people, we have sampled opinions of all the Biafrans using statistical model of sampling, sampling using statistical model. And we have found out that the majority of the Biafrans want restructuring first. And the restructuring that will give them opportunity to govern themselves just like Scotland, develop at their own pace, and then pay an agreed percentage tax to the center. Then after we govern ourselves as autonomous region for some years, we'll be able to organize ourselves, we'll be able to get experience of managing the powers of sovereignty before we now pull out if we want to. Remember, by that time, it is our parliament, the regional parliament, that will pass the bill into law for us to vote in a referendum for outright independence. So if at that time the Biafrans vote for outright independence, so be it, they pull out, just like Scotland is voting now. But many people have considered it, that being a regional government governing themselves and still have access to the whole Nigerian market may be of better or greater importance to them. So at that stage, when we get to that stage, we will decide what to do. But for now, what the international community can support is restructuring Nigeria into regional governments, and we are proposing 6 countries in one. If Britain can become Great Britain by having 4 in 1, Nigeria can also become Great Nigeria by having 6 in 1. See what is happening during the Olympic Games or World Cups. Scotland will go with their own national team. England will go with their own national team. I hope you people know that when they go for international tournaments, they go with their different national teams. You see England playing, you see Scotland playing, all of them are on their own. In fact, the laws of Scotland are different from the laws of England and Wales. I am a solicitor of England and Wales, but I cannot practice in Scotland unless I go and qualify in Scotland. You can see that their laws are different. Even though they are one country, Britain, all of them are British citizens. But I cannot practice in Scotland unless I go to Scotland and qualify. Where I practice is England and Wales. I am a solicitor of England and Wales. So the same thing can apply to Nigeria. So that every region will govern itself and have its own laws. So that the eastern region, the southeast or southwest, you now have your own country as a country within Nigeria. Do you know that in 2016, President Muhammadu Buhari gave that option to us when he was interviewed by Al Jazeera? He said, let us, that is, let the Biafrans organize themselves and vote to have a state within a state. That is, to have their Biafran state within the Nigerian state. That was the solution he gave when he was interviewed by the Al Jazeera. So, but we have not taken to that option yet. So the whole thing is, what the international community will support is a restructured Nigeria, and we are proposing 6 countries in one, and that is what we presented to the British Parliament, and they have written to us and said they have accepted our proposal. But it has to be done democratically by a debate, and the debate has to be in the National Assembly. So the ball now is passed to our politicians.
Okay.
This thing is a teamwork. It's like a football team. You pass the ball to your brother, your next one. This one will pass the ball to the next one. This person will pass to the next player, until you pass the ball to the player at the vantage position who will score the goal. Now we are passing the ball to the Biafran politicians.
Okay.
Let them pass the ball, let them now kick the ball into the goal post.
Okay, but Emeka, I don't know whether you finish making a presentation so that I can ask people on.
Yes, you can ask questions. Yeah, you can ask questions.
Is there anyone that wants to ask Emeka any question?
Yes.
Okay, who is the person?
Osondo Wige.
Osondo, okay, you now have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Maza. Barrister.
Thank you, my brother.
The barrister.
Yes, my brother Osondo.
And then, because I'm highly impressed with this, because some people on the so or Bowayesh, you know. Ihe mere na struggle a anyị niile ọ na-anụ anyị niile ọkụ n'obi ka anyị nwere onwe anyị mana ụfọdụ etu esi aga gị anyị niile enweghị the opportunity to connect people clued up like you.
Yes, man.
Yeah, otu ihe in a table now is the right procedure. But to some of us, we have the privilege of knowing you and this movement. I have hiked China, other places. Like I'm on IPOB, I won't lie to you, but I wasn't moved much like that. So I was starting designing, you know. So and last week, I went to a meeting and joined a World Igbo Congress. We were on so, from almost the same perspective issue and the similar approach. So my question now is, have any thing with WIC, World Igbo Congress? I'm going to work hand in hand. Because I'm interested, to be honest with you. This is my more mature than what they are doing their own.
Okay. Yeah, what you know here actually. Yeah, in Ajum when we ties in where relationship World Igbo Congress.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I work, that is now their group, now that's their WhatsApp group. And me and her communicate a few times.
Okay.
And they have this knowledge. Even this document that was sent to the British government, I sent it to them.
Okay.
But it appears that they prefer the Biafra of today. It's like they listen to somebody who has been preaching on air of immediate Biafra, immediately. It's like that is what they prefer. They have not officially communicated to us that they agree with this, our proposal. But from what I have been reading on their platform, it appears they prefer the Biafra of today. That's from my observation. That's it. But because in 2018, when we went to the British government and submitted this proposal, we sent a copy to them. So it's like many Biafrans are being carried away with this media hype of getting Biafra immediately. But we want to be realistic, my brother. Let us be realistic.
Exactly.
Okay. Now these people say, Britain said that they will support Nigeria. We have also got in touch with France. France also said they will support Nigeria. And these are two world powers. Are we ready to fight with world powers? So, diplomacy, negotiation. And I go one before I go two.
Okay,
I'm in the US. I'm in Houston. I'm in Texas. Houston, Texas.
Okay, be Dalo.
Yeah, no.
Because before we go, get your email address so that you will get what update. Email.
Okay, no, I don't know what update, but can you get?
But they're in a chat. Don't know chat because they're in a chat. I'm not going to email address.
Okay, I'm driving. Oh. So okay, Bede, B-E-D-E.
Yes.
Emuka, E-M-U-K-A.
Yes.
Yeah.
At gmail.com.
So, very simple.
Yeah. Because My brother Emeka.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Ekelengi o.
Ndalo.
Yeah, Muna gave before. No, but only one time on listening to presentation. Kamjuri personally, may admire the method each. Personally, okay.
Yeah.
I admire the method each na there. But you have get kuna yes, I believe perfectly in that. And so this organization a form consolidate Koya. This is my personal advice. And I can get involved. Forget about the also now. They teach and I mean they all kinds of organizations. And that's not how they do, and that's not how they on your June. Okay. Yes, I'm serious, but that propaganda people maybe see that we may have similar things within the Jew, which I know historically and culturally, but you only Jew. Because the consolidate this MOBIN, can we now what's Ozi about it? Okay, the Ozi about the method, e.g., Kadem Akara timing. Where again with a okay.
Okay.
With that, I'm on my Houston, I'm on my Texas. My background from media and the law. My own background, yes, media
wonderful.
And the law. So somebody know about WIC. I got my CV, forget them, but I knew it's on they did here. But I'm their strength and weaknesses. So you don't have to be part of them. You can be part as an individual organization. So forget about Indians. Forget yeah, just focus on this method. Not a whole lot of the that method. They are totally in that church. Focus on building this organization and its principles. But then, also get their own contribution and the way forward.
Email since you email bdemo@gmail.com. I will be communicating with you.
Yes, and they have some because here WhatsApp here, this WhatsApp group, this and that. It's not the best method to share. I mean, anybody can set that up and become, but it's not very effective. Yeah, thank you.
Email, thank you very much.
Yes.
Email.
B, thank you very much for your question. When I got you, Barrister Emeka, because in what you then Emeka, when I do to you today.
All right, go ahead.
It's here now. Now when I 3 groups. And I'm not missing now. You can.
Three groups have emerged. 3 schools of thought instead of saying 3.
Yes. When any effort from you towards maybe synergy or maybe contact.
No, I don't mean 3 groups. I mean schools of thought. Look at what I mean. Look at what I mean. Let us say 3 camps.
All right.
One camp says they want Biafra immediately.
Okay.
Another camp says they want Biafra in phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Okay.
Stage by stage. Maybe from restructuring to then our regional government will now pass a bill to outright independence stages. Then the other 3rd group said They don't even want to pull out. They want only restructured Nigeria, and they will remain in Nigeria and have access to the Nigerian market and govern themselves as Biafrans in Nigeria, just as Scotland in Britain, and have access to the Nigerian market. That's the third group. First group was outright independence immediately, which I have seen that is not workable unless they have military power to fight the war. Second group says they want Biafra, but it has to come by stage. After, from restructuring regional government, then the regional parliament will pass the bill into law for them to vote in a referendum to pull out. Then the third group say once they get restructured the regional government, that's enough for them. They will govern themselves, have their own law, have their own national team, have everything, and yet be Nigerian citizens to have access to the whole market. These are the three camps now. So that's what I mean. But I am working in the second group that say, let us first get regional parliament, regional government. Then when we get our regional government, our regional parliament will pass the law for us to vote in a referendum like Scotland is voting now. Any day Scotland gets just 51%, they will pull out. But they have not got 51%. My question is this: who is stopping Scotland? Remember the law that they passed, the law they passed for referendum was passed by the Scottish Parliament. And then when they come to vote, they don't get 51%. Why? Scottish people will vote against themselves.
Okay, all right. And then before I even ask you my second question, when you want to jog Gajo, or Sunday,
okay.
and then Edom Sunday, why do you
for now, I'm following what you people are doing. The details first.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Okay, that's all right. That's all
okay.
Right.
Emeka, you mentioned the Council of Elders here.
Yes.
Tell us more about the Council of Elders. Okay. What do you have with them and then?
Okay. This movement started by the elders. Like whenever God wants to do something, he uses somebody to introduce it. He used me to introduce this legal methodology by indigenous people of Biafra. I created that name, Indigenous People of Biafra. I formed that organization, Indigenous People of Biafra. I brought the elders together, called them Council of Elders of Indigenous People of Biafra. If you have seen my book, if you have read a copy of my book, you would have seen it there, how I created that name. Now, why did I make it? Why did I bring the elders into it? It's because of the dangerous situation in Nigeria. They are looking for a way to arrest you. They are looking for a way to destroy you. So when it started, I told them that we shall operate under the Nigerian law. Many people say, how can you operate under the Nigerian law? They didn't know the Nigerian law I had in mind. So when I launched out the movement, I called the elders together and told them that there is something called customary governance, customary law, recognized by the Nigerian Constitution. And that under the Nigerian Constitution, the customary law, by customary law, the elders of the land have the right to govern their people. The elders of the land have the right to create a government under customary law to organize the people, guide the people, advise the people, and oversee the affairs of the people under customary law. Then His Royal Majesty, Honorable Justice Ezozobu, a retired Chief Judge of Enugu State, he was the one who wanted me to prove it to him. Prove it to him. He was thinking that it is illegal, because as a retired chief judge, he would not like to do anything unlawful. But I proved it to him that customary governance, which we call Ochichamala, customary governance, it is guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution that under the customary law, you can do a lot of things. So by the time I convinced him, he agreed and signed the document I presented to him. And other elders were also got, including Dr. Dozike Dife and the rest of them. Most of those elders are now late. Now, we now establish the customary government headed by the elders. So these elders are called, in fact, I call them Council of Elders of Indigenous People of Biafra. Dr. Ike first said he has to put a word, supreme, to it. I said, why? He said he wants the Council of Elders to be like a Supreme Court that would decide any problem, any dispute among the Biafrans. The Council of Elders, which is a Supreme Court, will decide those disputes among the Biafrans and guide the Biafrans. All of the Biafrans will be operating under the elders. That was the original vision. So we now launched out, and they're called Supreme Council of Elders of Indigenous People of Biafra. While all of us are Indigenous People of Biafra, the name Indigenous People of Biafra is a name for all of us. It's not a cult. In fact, Dr. Ike Dife was the one who now abbreviated it to IPOB in 2013. He now abbreviated it to IPOB in 2013. Dr. Ike Dife is a name for all Biafrans. It's not a cult where you have to become a member by initiation and taking oath in a shrine called the Binokpabi or something. No, that's not the original vision. I created it. It's my vision. It's a name for the entire Biafrans, the remnants that were not consumed in the war. It's the national name, national identity. Well, I know that some of you must have been like someone who said I is a member of IPOB. That is, all of us are IPOB under the So, but it happened that in 2014, the person you people regard now as the leader of IPOB, he was ostracized by the elders. On 14th May 2014, he was ostracized by the elders because of what he committed against the Biafran project. He was ostracized. Unfortunately, he took away the radio, our media, which was the only thing that we were using to let the people know what we were. That's why some of you say you don't even know we exist. This story I'm telling you may even be news to you. Because,
I'm hearing it for the first time.
Yes, because the radio, our media, was taken away when he was ostracized. He took it away and used it to destroy all of us. Use it to destroy me, destroy the elders, destroy everybody. But okay. we still continue. So these are the Council of Elders.
Yeah.
If you log into the customary government website, www.ipobgovernment.org, www.ipobgovernment.org, you will see the foundation.
One other contribution.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
All right.
Yes. Bid Emuka. Yes, Emeka. Because actually, can I reserve your energy into look? The very first genius he were knowing that customary government or customary governance is a viable structure which our people know personally until from you and the way you are pursuing. So don't waste your energy on all these other things.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Personal plea. Don't waste your energy.
Thank you. I take the correction.
I can be part of any place in law to develop
Thank you.
and I can guarantee you, look, what the idea in that genius of customary government, and our people, we have not explored it, we have not exploited it. Okay? Even another thing in personally, this is my own opinion. The poison that how bringing in that term Biafra. Okay, I'm adding small. I don't have to carry it as a badge to understand where I belong. Okay, so that thing is poisoning whatever genius we were trying to.
Or the name Biafra, eh?
Yes, I can tell you. I'm adding small, 8 to 9 years, but I got to the war front. But I bear those wrongs, but because by bringing in the idea and the ideology of indigenous government is a very solid ground. All you need is to build on it. It's going to take time for people to get the knowledge and the education about it. It can solve a whole lot of problems under the structure. We don't even have to fire one shot.
Yeah.
We do it right. This is my belief. There was.
My brother. Okuge Amaka.
Yeah.
Okuge Amaka, I have taken note and I've taken the advice.
Yes.
So, let me join line. Let me join line where I can see new people joining us now. Because why have you? When I drink, I roll 11 people, but unfortunately, I'm only.
Hello? Okay, no. Okay, Afamobo. Actually, Afam, I just joined.
Okay,
Afambo Lilian, Ifewa Obiechina, Adide, Esimenugu join the Esimenugu.
Okay,
Esimenugu.
Okay, Dalo.
Onano, Jisike. Enugu de kwa your tata. Manam asla anyị gbafusigodo onye ọbụla dey careful. Na orthopedic hospital, COVID, 25 of them workers they kwa in isolation. So there's a little bit of tension,
okay,
around us, but we are good.
Okay, we're judging because judging. I made enough time because judging because.
Mba ajum gamu na-ekwu okwu. Ife na-ekwu bụ ife anyị masị bụ amasị so no na ekwenye m n'ife ọ na-ekwu.
Adide welcome Adide.
Oh Ogamo ba I'm loyal sir. Udodi jisike sir. Anyị na-ege ntị ka anyị na-amụta. No questions at all. All right, sir.
Because whenever I jog, I will only 10 more minutes. I will only 12 more minutes before I make this meeting. And because email address can I send an updates? And according to this meeting every weekend.
Every Saturday.
God willing. We can maybe have a chat with Emeka and he'll give us update in how we go so far. So okay, on your email address and then you want to update or email update regularly, and they keep on informed and in touch anyway. So there are email address again at the chat section of the message of the chat platform.
Yeah.
Emeka?
Yes, sir.
Because whenever you get so that we can before I proceed with question.
Well, I think we have come to the conclusion that I pass this ball to the Ndiga Banyazi anime goalpost.
25. So I can watch you back. I'm going to meet them now.
Okay.
I'll call you back.
Okay, somebody talking. So I know kusi about ball pass good pass and Ndiga Babas anime net. Kaya goal. All they buying on now. And fortunately, like I told you that all the elders are carried along. So the PG of Ohaneze Ndibo, Chief Nyanwodo, because of this thing, has been able to gather the 4 regions together. Maybe you know where the 4 regions got to Senate and demanded for restructuring to regional government. He was able to get people of the South, Southwest, and Middle Belt, plus Southeast, 4 regions. He took them to the National Assembly, to the Senate, and demanded that Nigeria be restructured to regional government. Who is making noise?
Who's making noise?
Well, someone should mute their phone.
Okay, I'm muting everybody.
So he took the 4 regions to the Senate and demanded for restructuring of Nigeria to regional government. This is the reason. So right now we have got enough votes because only the Southeast, if they move that motion in the National Assembly, our senators are not enough. We're only 15 senators. So it is better to team up with Southeast, Southwest, North Central, 4 regions. If that motion is moved, I believe we shall win. So that was why Chief Nyanwodo has succeeded in getting these 4 regions together. Obuzi, next thing, Buzi, who will move this motion? Who will present this bill in the National Assembly? What is stopping them? That's where we don't know.
Okay. Maybe to just to add to what you are saying now, maybe what maybe MOBIN will do to either lobby our lawmakers or push them to maybe introduce the bill. Alternatively, MOBIN can work towards electing their own rep at the National Assembly, so they can do the bidding of MOBIN. So
can you speak a little louder, please?
In relation to what Emeka has said regarding who will move the motion at the National Assembly, MOBIN can either talk to Igbo or other maybe lawmakers. Failingly, MOBIN can work towards electing their own rep at the National Assembly that will do the bidding of MOBIN. So all hopes are not lost. I think MOBIN is on the right track. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So the group has to maybe sustain their efforts and then continue pushing, continue lobbying, continue talking to lawmakers. Failingly, MOBIN can think about electing their own candidates at the National Assembly or at the State Assembly or anywhere at any level. That's the point I'm trying to make. On that note, do we have when we are jogging?
Like no more question. Is he hanging?
Raise their hand up.
Like there's no more question.
Okay. I think I muted B.
You muted everybody.
No, B, his hand is up.
No,
Let him ask now.
Yes, I've asked him to mute. B, then when I got you. If not, then we can proceed to let me unmute other people. Otherwise, we can begin to round up the meeting because we have other things to do. Hello? Okay, sorry about that, Lillian.
Okay,
when I
I'm meeting back.
Okay, it's like there's no question.
Meeting back.
Just what we now do now, just round up and then we can.
Okay, fine. Since there's no more question, we have now seen the direction we are going.
Yeah.
And I will say, let us complement the efforts of one another. Yeah. Even if you belong to other Biafra groups, let's work in team, complementing the efforts of one another. But you can see the vision where we are going. And any advice, suggestion you think you can give to facilitate it, to develop it, enlarge it, make it more workable and faster, that would be appreciated. Like the coordinator, moderator has said, to lobby our lawmakers, the parliamentarians in the National Assembly. If you can reach to them, sometimes I wonder why we have to lobby them for them to do what is right. But well, we have seen what is on the ground. We have to talk to them. Hopefully we shall succeed in getting them to present that bill, move that motion, and let's see the reaction. And like we have seen, if we succeed, we shall get international recognitions, and every country, every region will be a country of its own inside Nigeria, at least for a starting. Let us start from there. I go 1, I go 2, and it will be okay. We will get to where we want to get. It's just a matter of time. So I will advise for patience, perseverance in this work. It takes endurance, it takes perseverance to achieve our goal. And I believe we shall, if we do not faint on the way. Thank you. That is the closing remarks I would like to make. And I will say, may God bless all of us for being in this meeting. Thank you. Moderator, if there's any other thing, you can conclude and close.
Thank you, Barrister Emeka, for giving us this update and having you on this platform. We will have another meeting, hopefully by next Saturday. We will share circular or notice for the meeting next Saturday. So that, send us your email or your WhatsApp so we can be able to communicate to you. And hopefully we'll meet again by next Saturday for another roundtable with Emeka Emekesri. He has a lot to give. He has a lot to say.
Some people are saying they thought it was 7 o'clock and they didn't know it was 6 o'clock.
All right. Okay.
So please, they were confused. That's why they came late.
It's unfortunate.
So let it be known that it's every 6 o'clock, every Saturday, 6 o'clock.
What we'll do, we'll send out circular. We'll send out meeting circular.
Okay, that's all right.
All right, yeah. So that note, meeting is hereby closed for now.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you.
All right. Okay.